Well, here I am in the solitude of the Georgian Highlands. But exactly how did I get here? Well, I started in Atlanta, which is 60 miles south, a pleasant hour's drive, maybe an hour and a half if you're coming from the airport. I drove up I-75. From 575, I traveled most of the way on the 4-lane Appalachian Highway with no traffic at all. When I reached Jasper, which is considered the gateway to the Appalachians, I was only 5 minutes away. Jasper is hidden among all the trees down there. The last 5 minutes really surprised me though. I suppose I was expecting winding roads that took forever, but the scenic highway that brings you to the entrance has very few turns, and before I realized it, I had climbed thousands of feet and I had escaped. It wasn't until the trees opened up by the front entrance that I could see that I was already over the mountains. I was really amazed at how convenient it is to get away from it all so quickly up here. It makes for an easy commute anytime residents have business, shopping, or plans in Atlanta. The drive to the Georgian Highlands is easy. The drive home is easy too. The Highland Parkway is the main road through the Georgian Highlands. It's wide and well paved like all the roads here. Let me show you a typical driveway and home site. This one is a home in progress. Typical mountain property, but do you see how easy it is for residents to walk to their home site? The gently sloping terrain throughout the Georgian Highlands means homeowners have easy access any time of the year. No treacherous or tortuous routes up or down steep hills to come home to. A welcome and unexpected feature at this high elevation. Now just look at the way they've designed this drive to protect the plant life, while highlighting it and adding a charm that draws you deeper to reveal a hidden home with an exclusive, spectacular view. I'm sure you'd like to see what the finished houses look like, so in just a few minutes, I'll take you over to the completed model home. It is fantastic, and just wait till you see the landscaping. Okay, let's walk down to the Cherokee campsite. It's just one portion of the 5-acre nature park where everyone can come for recreation and relaxation. It's a peaceful retreat with an amphitheater for residents' meetings and nature talks, a corner for some quiet time by the creek, and fireside picnics over here. Now this is an authentic home-sewn teepee like the one seen in the movie Dances with Wolves. It's been brought here to honor the Cherokee Nation, early inhabitants of this enchanted land. Children love playing in it, and if you're a homeowner, you or your guests can stay in it overnight. Now, on the other side of Clear Creek, deep in the most secluded portion of the Georgian Highlands, a trail will soon lead to a little chapel in the woods. It'll become a beautiful setting for prayer and reflection. When residents aren't enjoying themselves inside the Georgian Highlands, there are countless activities to choose from nearby. Within just a few miles, there's horseback riding, fishing, several golf courses, hiking, biking, camping, mountain climbing, tennis, kayaking, canoeing, and even whitewater rafting on the same river where events were staged during the '96 Olympics. There's Blue Ridge Lake, there's Carter's Lake, and Lake Lanier. There's 729-foot Amicalola Falls right over there. The start of the Appalachian Trail right over there. There are wineries, mineral springs, Cabbage Patch Kids, a kangaroo ranch, and Siberian tigers at a wildlife preserve. There's antiquing in Ellijay, mining for gold in Dahlonega, Oktoberfesting in Helen. As I pointed out earlier, down there is the marble capital of Jasper for schools, groceries, restaurants, spa pampering, home improvement, a hospital, and an airport. 40 minutes that way is a huge outlet mall. And the 360-mile scenic Southern High Road Trail driving tour begins right outside the gates. It's short, there's a lot to do around the Georgian Highlands. Now when we come back, I'll meet you by the gated entrance.
Well, it's absolutely gorgeous up here. I mean, with all the trees and the quiet, and our view of the mountains is great. I don't know, I couldn't ask for a nicer place to live. When Phil retired early, we came up here full time. But we still go into Atlanta every week, a few times, and Phil goes for business, but I like to shop. And we're actually close enough now that our son can bring our granddaughter up often to visit, and that's a real blessing.
The Georgian Highlands is your escape to a peaceful lifestyle in the solitude of the pristine North Georgia mountains just 1 hour from Atlanta. Here, you'll live a life that's private and protected, tranquil and trouble-free. Your high-elevation 3, 5, or 10-acre legacy homesite exists in complete harmony with the natural splendor of this forested oasis. Call us at 888-290-5725 or visit thegeorgianhighlands.com to get started living life at its peak.
This is the stately entrance gate that welcomes everyone who comes to the Georgian Highlands. There's also one very similar to it with the stacked stone over on the north side at the other end of Highland Parkway. To guarantee privacy, homeowners are issued access cards and security codes so they and their guests can enter the Georgian Highlands property. All the modern amenities are here, like underground power, phone and fiber optics for high-speed access. But the Georgian Highlands residents love their new lifestyle because it's peaceful and private, the way people lived in the America of 50 years ago. Life in the Georgian Highlands recalls that unhurried time. It was a time when you could leave your front door unlocked, a time when you had room to live as you pleased. Clean, fresh mountain air, and another beautiful day. This mountain peak's at a perfect elevation for homeowners to enjoy life up here all year round. This could not be said for mountains much higher or lower. All 4 seasons are comfortable here. Summers are pleasant with a cool mountain breeze. Autumn is obviously brilliant with the reds and yellows of the changing leaves. Winters are mild as well. Typically, the mountain gets blanketed with a gentle dusting of snow, 1 to 2 inches perhaps on a few days. Nothing that would call for any shoveling though. And the Georgian Highlands makes a wonderful place for everyone to come together for a white Christmas. Spring may be the most beautiful of all, with the spectacular dogwood and Mount Laurel blooms, followed up by the bright colors of successive wildflower blossoms. Some of the wild-growing plants of the mountains have been repeated in a very natural way in the gardens of the picturesque model home, and I'll meet you there in just a minute.
We both grew up on farms, and now that I don't have to be in Atlanta every day anymore, we wanted to retire somewhere in the mountains, not too far from the city, just a place that had that simple, honest way of living that we remembered. Our son missed out on that, but we feel it's important that our granddaughter has the opportunity to experience it.
This arts and crafts classic is the model home built by the developers, not to be sold, but for the purpose of helping buyers visualize what living an elegant yet casual mountain lifestyle can be. They offer it as one example of how a dream home can be built to simply melt right into the beautiful wooded surroundings. These are ways the protective covenants suggest exterior architecture that'll best blend with the natural environment. Another purpose of this model home was to showcase the possibilities of natural landscaping by creating beautiful woodland gardens that become one with the dense forest around the site. The theme of the landscaping was to restore the disturbed land back to its original canopy using native plants, shrubs, and trees. The process of finding, financing, and building on property has been greatly simplified at the Georgia Highlands. Buyers have a lot of help. Development specialists work closely with them to choose just the right neighborhood and a perfect home site that fulfills all their mountain living dreams. The developers have put together a one-stop financing solution to speed the process along. Partnering with local banks that understand mountain property financing better than anyone, they can seamlessly move the investor from a land loan into a construction loan and then into a permanent home mortgage. With good credit and as little as 10% down, investors can be pre-qualified the same day and receive their loan in just 2 to 3 weeks. Then after the closing, the development specialists help with the selection of home styles, home construction, landscaping, and getting the most out of the legacy property while adhering to the strict covenants that protect the environment and enhance property values. The developers welcome buyers who buy simply for the property value appreciation. When buyers intend to build on their home site, they're given the freedom to set their own pace. There's no pressure to build by a certain date. When the buyer is ready to build, the developer will be ready to help. Now, typically, buyers begin home construction 4 years after they've purchased their home site. During this period, buyers find it costs next to nothing to hold the property. Their homeowners association fee comes to only $25 per month. Property taxes amount to just $1 a day for a 3-acre home site. The developers have also eased the challenge of building a home. While buyers may choose their own contractors, the developers can arrange for a more efficient and cost-effective local solution. They have carefully examined the market and reputation of over 24 contractors in the neighboring mountain communities and have approved 4 to build at the Georgian Highlands. Each contractor has a particular home style expertise and price range between $600,000 up to multi-million-dollar homes. Now, these contractors are also well versed in the protective building covenants in place in the Georgian Highlands. And when we come back, we'll take a moment to give you a taste of the remarkable interior of this well-designed home.